Old School Pokemon here, back again with a podcast episode 9, almost to those double digits. We're actually recording this one about a week later than we usually do. You can blame me for that one. I was actually on vacation last week. Took the week off from eBay, off of YouTube, just to relax. Spent the week on Martha's Vineyard, which was awesome, but back home again, back into the Pokemon grind, if you will, and back again with my co-host, Dan, Catch 'em All Collectibles. Good to see you, Dan. How you doing tonight?
Nice to see you too, Nick. I missed you last week.
I know. I missed you too.
I'm doing really well. Looking forward to this chat tonight. We've got a lot of questions.
Yeah, we do actually. Yeah. So, as always, we'll just hop right into the questions first and answer the questions. I know there's some longer questions in here that we'll probably go off on. We'll probably have tangents to go off on in relation to those questions, but we'll get started right away with those questions. And if you guys have any questions for future episodes, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and we'll pick them out and answer them in the next podcast when we record that one. So I don't know if you want me to get started with my first question, and then you can...
Yeah, you've got a couple more than me, so you can start it off.
Okay, so my first question is from Lethal D. Do you guys have any knowledge on why there are so little PSA 30 billion certs in Pokemon? I've only seen a handful. It seems to jump from 2 million to 4 million. Yes, it does. I don't think I've ever seen a 3 million cert Pokemon card. It might just be because I haven't looked hard enough, but they definitely did jump from like the 2 million certs up to the 4 million certs. I forget when that was. I honestly have no idea why that was. I've heard some people. I heard it mentioned somewhere that it's possible that when PSA started out, they like designated a certain range of certain numbers for certain cards, like say like the 3 million cert was designated for baseball cards or football cards or whatever. So I've heard that theory before, and it kind of made sense to me. So I've always just gone with that, where like the 3 million cert range was designated for a certain type of card outside of Pokemon. But aside from that, I really have no idea why that happened. I think that's always going to be a mystery. I don't know if you have any insight into that one.
I don't have any insight. It's funny, just this is going to tie into my first question for tonight, but people pay a lot of attention to certain numbers, and I just don't. I'm aware that the 30 million range doesn't really have much. I think they, like you said, they jumped from the 20s to the 40s for whatever reason. They set those aside, or they used them prior, whatever the case. I want to say that there's even some, like right now, depending on whether you're getting year-old stuff back or whether you're getting newer Express back, you could be in the high 40s still today, or in the 50s, maybe even in the 60s with some.
I was gonna say I have seen some 60s.
Yeah, I think though, like for years, I think some 90 million certs have existed for like sports, random sports. I'm pretty sure I've seen.
Maybe.
So they're kind of all over the place. They're not really sequential necessarily. And in my opinion, people just pay too much attention, which we'll get into with my question.
You're not one to follow the to collect the 420 69 certs?
No, we may as well get you're done with that question, right? Let's roll right in.
Yep.
So this was kind of a really long post, and I'm just distilling it down to I have it in our notes here as the dreaded 2x cert versus 4x cert conversation and our thoughts. I'll take this first, and I'll just continue off of the theme from Nick's question's answer. People care way too much about the certs. I buy the card, not the grade. Generally speaking, when I'm buying for my collection. If I'm buying for resale, I'm more prone to just buying the grade, knowing that if it's vastly off, I mean, the guarantee exists. Anybody who's watched some of my recent videos knows that I'm in the midst of a potential claim right now with a big card. But yeah, I've been grading for 6 years now. I've graded several thousand, probably north of 10,000 cards now. I don't believe any of it. I know that there are some big names, lots of experience that say the newer ones are stronger and they're grading it harder. I personally don't see it. And even if you want to claim it's true, I think it's really crazy when you see people with buy threads. I am only buying 4 excerpts because misgrades still exist. Like
Mhm.
there's some quote out there like statistics mean nothing to the individual. So if you're just blindly buying 4 excerpts, you're gonna end up with some bad examples from time to time. Like you need to pay attention regardless of the cert number what you're getting, and I'll be interested to know your thoughts on it.
Well, first off, it's funny you mention how there are buy threads where people specify they want 4 excerpts only. I'm actually one of those people
Oh,
myself.
really?
It's not because of that reasoning in terms of like the condition. It's because so I'm trying to build a PSA 9 first edition base non-hollow set. And I want those 4 excerpts only because I am a super OCD collector when it comes to my personal collection.
The lighthouse labels.
It's the lighthouse label, and then in addition to that, the cases, like the 2 excerpt cases are like they have like almost like rounded corners, where the 4 excerpt labels have like the sharp corners, or like the edges of the cases are like sharper. So
I hope CGC, like, they get some flack for their cases, which I think is stupid and undeserved. I hope they never ever ever change their case or label. Because one thing,
I'm
just to continue on with my rant, Nat Nat recently said in an interview that down the line PSA will likely have inner sleeves.
yeah
I don't really care that much, but it is going to be so frustrating that in my buyer pool of potential buyers, you're going to have some people who, like me, don't care about anything and they're the perfect buyer. But you're going to have 1/3 of people 2 excerpts only because they don't have lighthouses and they don't want them. Some people are 4 excerpts only because they're the best, and I don't want to buy your 2 excerpts and I don't want to buy your sleeves. And then you're going to have the newest collectors that are, oh, I only want the sleeved ones. And it's like,
there's too many options.
yeah, they've updated their cases multiple times since I've been in the hobby.
Oh
And
yeah, oh yeah,
it doesn't bother me personally from a collecting perspective, but it's just annoying to know that, like, the day that they start doing sleeves, inner sleeves, some amount of your buyer pool is going to be gone for
yep,
certain cards. You're only going to get them if you have that inner sleeve,
yep,
or your new inventory coming back having that inner sleeve is going to turn them away from you.
yeah, exactly.
It's yeah, just my little rant on the whole cert holder sleeve situation.
Exactly. No, I hope CGC never changes their cases. PSA has changed them way too often.
Yeah.
But to get back to the actual question there, the 2x versus the 4x cert. I wish we can go back to that time when they did make the change, because I do remember a lot of people complaining about how the grading standards had changed back then. Me personally, I never really saw it for the 2x to the 4x cert numbers, but recently I have noticed it. And I don't know what you can call it, whether you can call it the 4x versus 5x cert, because some of the recent stuff is still 4x, but I guess like low 4x to high 4x, I have absolutely noticed a difference in their grading scale or whatever. I personally think they are grading a lot harsher than they have previously. But I really never noticed much of a difference between the 2x and 4x certs. It's just more recently that I've noticed a difference. Have you what do you think of their like the stuff that you're receiving now? Have you noticed any difference in like their grading scale at all?
I
Oh,
get a lot of 10s still.
you're full of it.
No, I'm serious. Like I feel like a crazy person because generally speaking, I do get less 10s than I did 5 years ago.
Mhm.
5 years ago, I was cracking boxes left and right.
That's true too.
So
Yep.
I am submitting a lower quality card in general.
Hmm.
I'm submitting my most recent PSA return. I think it goes live later this week. Theme deck exclusives, and these are cards that literally I had them in monster boxes, raw. I cracked hundreds of theme decks. These are Dragonite Roaring Skies theme decks. These are Charizard Team Up. They're Mewtwo Evolutions, Pikachu Evolutions. They were cracked and they sat raw in monster boxes, some of them for years.
Hmm.
So, like, years ago, I was submitting those pack to sleeve or deck to sleeve immediately. I was submitting a higher quality card.
That's
Now
true.
I'm submitting like my leftovers, my scraps
Hmm.
that haven't even been sleeved most of their life.
Yep.
And when I bought collections 5 years ago, they were 5 years younger,
Hmm.
5 years less of turning pages and shuffling cards and whatever. Like card condition can only go down over time.
Yep. Yep.
And over time, you're naturally gonna like flush out the best condition cards, and box breaks are just not as much of a thing. And so I think it's just the reality of people are submitting worse stuff, but all this, the big numbers and the prices for the 10s, people just see their own cards through rose colored glasses and think, no, every single card I submit deserves a 10, just as they always have, and now I'm getting less. So they're like falsely attributing their lower 10 rate to PSA being harsher, when the reality is they're just, generally speaking, submitting worse condition cards.
I
That's
can,
my whole take on it.
I can definitely see the logic behind that. I can that makes sense to an extent. I
One
do think there's more to it though.
one
I
one
don't think that's the
card
whole story.
one card that has blown my mind, and I need to dig through my records. I just it was 10 or 12 Reds Pikachus. That card is bulletproof. I think years ago I bought like 100 of them,
Hmm.
and I graded almost all of them. I sold some raw, but I graded almost all of them. I think I've graded 60 or 70 of them with not a single 9.
Man.
Like I remember one of my first submissions, it was like 30 card block, all 10s. My most recent one was just 10 or 12 cards, all 10s. And this was, I've probably done 10 to 20 a year for the past, I forget what year that came out. Was that 2017, 2018?
I think 2018.
28,
I'm
yeah,
not
2018
sure.
sounds right. But I mean, that card, I think that card is bulletproof for whatever reason. So that doesn't necessarily show that, hey, 10s are just as easy. But I've got a lot of my 10s get 10s, my 9s get 9s,
Yep, yep.
from my perspective.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I'll give you that one.
Especially like when you just remove everything. Like I think I made a reasonable point on card condition being lower, cards being older,
Oh yeah,
whatever.
no, definitely.
PSA literally has an incentive to give you the 10 so that they can charge you more money.
Hmm.
So like when PSA grades your card, they're doing a fixed finite amount of work. If it gets a 10, a lot of times it gets an upcharge. So they have an incentive to inflate your grades. I'm not saying they're doing that, but like from a logical external perspective, just looking at the situation, it could be reasonable to assume that they have, I mean, they do have financial incentive to give out more 10s.
Yeah, but you could argue the opposite too. They have a financial incentive not to give out tens in order to keep the price of tens high. that whole like control the pop report, which I don't believe it at all, but you could argue that.
PSA is not organized or intelligent or consistent enough to like have these uh tinfoil hat conspiracy things going on.
No,
Like
definitely
I,
not.
I don't buy any of it.
No, no. No, I'm not big into those PSA theories either. Conspiracy theories time. But I think that pretty thoroughly answered that question there.
Yeah.
So my next question is from Jason of JJ's or J and J's. How do you think the 25th anniversary will do long term? Is it a set worth holding for 10 years for 10 or so years, or would my money be better put elsewhere? If so, where? Um, so I'm really excited for the 25th anniversary set. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a really really popular set, really good set. But in terms of like the long-term potential, I have no idea. I think that's going to be more of a question you could better answer, or not like fully answer, but have a better idea of upon release when we actually know everything that's going to be released, as well as how much is going to be released, meaning how much we're going to be allocated for that release compared to other sets, to kind of get a rough idea of the print numbers for the 25th anniversary set. But so I think it's just going to be a matter of waiting and seeing, upon release, just to kind of get those figures and know exactly what's going to be in the set. But as far as like modern sets to invest long term in right now, I'd personally, we were talking about this before we started, but Hidden Fates, that's a I think that's going to be a good set to for like the long term future. I've been meaning to pick up some more Hidden Fates ETBs, which I still haven't done. But at some point, I would like to pick up a whole bunch more Hidden Fates ETBs and just hold them for the long term. I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to add on that one.
Yeah, I think 10 years is tough. There's so many sets. 10 more years, they're doing 4 sets a year plus a holiday set a lot of times.
50 sets from now.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at 40 to 50 sets, and I think this is going to tie in really great. Maybe we'll just go right to your next question after this one, just because
Yeah,
it ties in
yeah,
so well.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
But I think that, and this is something Jake with Pokenomics talks about a lot. There's just so many sets. There's going to be so many new generations of Pokemon, so many new species of Pokemon. What's going to make things stand out? 10 years ago, something that's really going for those 2011, where would we have been? Was that like Heart Gold, Soul Silver era?
2011. I want to say that.
Somewhere Heart Gold, Soul Silver, or like Diamond and Pearl. One thing that those have going for them, like they're doing pretty well today. They had such low print runs.
Hmm.
The history of Pokemon, 25 years. The first 2 or 3 years, print numbers were massive. And then from 2002 to 2014, 15, it was a lot less popular. And the thing with now is the print numbers are ballooned back up to like almost early WotC levels.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. If not more than that.
I right out of the gate, we kind of got into this in the last podcast, but like 3 point something billion cards were printed in the last year, and I think the first couple years of WotC it was like 10 billion. So I don't think we're quite there as what like base jungle and fossil would have, but we're
Mhm.
pretty close. And I guess what I'm trying to get at is like the first sets will always be the first sets.
Yep.
10, 20, 50, 100 years from now. If Pokemon is a thing 100 years from now, base will be the first set.
Yep.
Um, the 25th anniversary set, it's not as big as the 50th.
That is true. That is true.
50 is a round number. It's a bigger number. The 30th the 20th generations. And I think especially, again, the print runs are so massive right now. If Pokemon kind of fades off and has a slow decade again, these could really suffer from the fact that print runs were so high and they just kind of fade in with maybe the 30th, maybe the 40th is an amazing solid set during a lull period. And so when we pick back up at our 75th anniversary, everyone loves the 25th, but everyone's got it. It's like base set unlimited because it was just everywhere. And people are after the 50th because print run was so low and they're even cooler. I mean, I know I'm talking and thinking way further out than 10 years, but these are the kinds of things you need to think about on the longer term. And 10 years is pretty long term.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then getting to the other part, would my money be better put elsewhere? If so, where? A big consideration is I don't know if you're buying the 25th. I don't know what prices you're talking about buying the 25th anniversary set at. Nick and I, we buy everything we can get wholesale.
That's a good point too. I didn't even think of that.
Modern product this year and last year, if you're getting it wholesale, take everything you can get and beg for more. I'm not going to say you can't lose money on it, but when you're buying ETBs wholesale for these anniversary sets for $30 or whatever it is, you're doing really well. If you're buying them on pre-sale at double retail, I honestly think almost anything would be a better investment than buying stuff at double retail out of the gate. It's just a dangerous place to be. I sold some of my early Battle Styles cases for $800-900, and now you can pick them up for $500 or $600.
Yeah.
And I know that the 25th anniversary set is not Battle Styles, and it's much better. But I think they're gonna print a lot of it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's all dependent on the prices. I mean, try to be patient. I think they're gonna print a fair bit of it, and it's a fairly small set, so singles are always an option too if you just want to pick up the cards that you want, and it's hard to say.
So we'll do my next question because that
Yep.
kind of ties into it. But Celebi Collectibles asks, do you think Pokemon can keep topping itself with new artworks and crazy card designs for the next few years? And do you think once they stop upping their game every new release that people will lose interest? I I don't know how much to answer to the first part of the question. I don't know how much further Pokemon can go with these new releases. Right now they're doing an absolutely phenomenal job with modern product. It'll be interesting to see how long this trend continues. I think it's impossible to say for certain, but I think it'll continue for the foreseeable future as long as we keep having the demand that we're having right now. I think modern's absolutely on fire right now, and I think it'll continue going forward for the foreseeable future, like I said. And then the second part, once they stop upping their game with every new release, will people lose interest? I think there has been some people that have already begun losing interest with these new set releases, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, just because they got into Pokemon the end of last year at the absolute hype, and they more so got into it for like the money aspect, where you could buy something at Walmart and flip it for double the next day. So I think we have already lost a good chunk of those types of people, but those people really weren't into Pokemon for like what actual collectors are in Pokemon for. They were more into it for the money. So I'd say we already have lost some people, but I do think there's the core collectors within the hobby, the people who actually enjoy the game. I don't think they'll completely leave modern, even if Pokemon starts printing sets similar to Battle Styles, say, which was an absolutely terrible set. But I don't think they'll ever stop liking modern or stop collecting modern just because of that. I think you'll always have those people who collect modern, And then you also have a huge player base once tournaments start up again, who people who don't collect the cards, but they use the cards for tournaments and deck building and stuff like that. So I do think modern will always stay popular, even if they do kind of decline in quality, I guess. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I think it's a really great question. Pokemon is on fire lately. Modern is amazing. I love it. I love what they did with the 25th anniversary set. I'm being patient with EV Heroes. I don't get Japanese product from distribution, so I'm like a retail buyer on that. I'm waiting for the late July reprint to pick some of that up. But I would have never guessed exactly what they're doing with, I mean, even going back to Hidden Fates. I think there's just so many ways to print Pokemon on shiny cardboard, and there's different creative ways to make it shinier. And I uh I think they'll always innovate some different ways. But that said, kind of tying back into what I answered the last question with, do you think once they stop upping their game every new release that people will lose interest? I think that if they continue to up their game, some amount of like interest will wax and wane. It'll be, I mean, we're not on a straight trajectory to the moon with no stops. As the demographics change and as people age, and I mean, pop culture collectibles have a long history of phasing in and out and not necessarily dying and going away completely. But I mean, Pokemon's stuck it out for 25 years and they're the largest grossing media franchise of all time. But I think that some people just envision the next 100 years, everything's just going to keep going up and it's all going to be sunshine and rainbows. And I think we're going to have lulls, and some periods it might be multi-year. I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable that over the next 50 years there might be a decade-long substantial lull. Uh, so, and I wasn't around. I mean, I got back in 2014. I wasn't around during the Level X era or the EX era, Gold Star era, the Legend cards, and I don't know what the reception on all those were. I'm sure that some people thought that EX era was killing it and Gold Stars were amazing. I know that a lot of people look back on it now like those were way better than Level X's and the Call Legend Shinies and the Legend pieces. And some people probably were doing the whole thing throughout there, and they probably thought they were killing it with each one better than the last. And so it's so hard to anticipate how each set will be received, and sometimes things are taken unfavorably while they're happening, and then they're looked back on like, oh wow, those were actually awesome, let's go buy all those.
Yeah,
um
exactly. And then not everyone's gonna like the same stuff.
yeah.
Like I
So
remember on my I was doing a WhatNot auction, and I auctioned a Blaziken VMAX alt art from Chilling Reign, which I thought was an absolute awesome artwork. But even with that, there were people in the chat who said, "Oh, that artwork's garbage." So not everyone likes the same stuff.
yeah, yeah, I think it'll fluctuate and it'll be all over the place over time.
Yeah.
But I plan to be here for the long term, and I think Pokemon will be too,
Oh
even if
yeah,
it,
definitely.
even if it wanes a fair bit from its peak right now. Ready for the next one?
I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I think we answered that pretty good.
Yeah. So Pokey Martin asked, would you ever participate in a box break or do your own box breaks? I feel like they are kind of a scam and mainly an avenue for streamers to make more money. I really enjoy when people open up their own boxes like you did with Fossil and Jungle. Um, I'm a crazy person, so I did early, like over the past few months, I've broken a couple of boxes for my own enjoyment. I don't think many people are doing that right now because the prices are so high. Part of my strategy was weigh the packs, open the hollows. I was talking to Nick about this before the stream, but I have like a complete PSA 9 jungle set and I have a complete PSA 9 fossil set. The prices have come down a lot. I kind of wish I had sold them late last year in the midst of all the hype, but my strategy right now is take those pack fresh cards. I graded them with CGC, a lot of 8.5s, a lot of 9s, but I'm going to sell off my PSA cards, some of them, replace them with the CGC for now that I see them as similar quality. And so kind of downgrade my collection, but extract some money from it to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm kind of straying from the heart of the question, but I've bought into like ZNG. I've bought into some of his breaks. I've bought into different breaks. I think that there are proper ways to do them and there are improper ways to do them. Someday down the line, if I have a big enough community, I would do them the proper way. And I think James is kind of the he kind of sets the bar for what that looks like. He charges a fair price. He's an honest guy. You buy an unweighed pack, you're getting an unweighed pack. And he's not saying, hey, buy this, everything is going to grade a PSA 10, we're all going to get rich. Those are the scammy. I'm assuming that that's what you're talking about when you say that they're kind of a scam. Throughout last year, that was a very common thing. Buying to this box break, selling them for double market, quoting all the PSA 10 prices, and yeah, that's no good.
No. Yeah, no, I'd agree with you there. I don't think I ever would get into doing box breaks, especially with modern. Modern I could never do because I'm just not I don't get excited when I open modern stuff. So I'd never be able to be entertaining and do it. But even with WotC, I don't think I could do box breaks. I just it's fun to open packs and all that, but I've never really been big into opening packs myself.
I love
Surprisingly.
opening product. If I could do it and like make a little money
Mm-hmm.
and actually have it be like a business, I mean, I definitely would. I
Now,
just
would you do
don't
it?
have. It would be something I'd actively try to pursue because, but I'm not gonna be. I mean, anybody who's watched my couple openings, I'm not gonna be bouncing off the walls. I'm like a toned down Rusty.
I didn't know that was possible.
Well, yeah, which is saying something.
Now, would you do modern or would you just do WotC?
I would never get into modern. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think the only way. I mean, not that I'd have to make a killing to make it worthwhile, but on $4 packs, you'd have to charge like too much to make it make sense. I mean, I'd want to make a decent bit for my time, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so it would have to be vintage. It would have to be where making a couple percent on a multi-$1,000 box actually
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yep. Yeah. So that's about it I had for that question. I didn't have too much. I could never do a box breaking channel. That's basically my answer right there.
Yeah, one thing, I mean, one of my early goals was to open every box, and I wish I had a YouTube years ago because I would have a video on my channel of every box. I've kind of joked about doing a second lap. Um, I if I blew up and I could do it for like the content and make a little money, and it would be cool. It would be amazing. I mean, it's completely unreasonable, and there's no way. But to do like a second lap of WotC, I mean, it's still out there, but maybe if prices all tank over the next 5 to 10 years and everyone stops liking Pokemon, and
I don't think that's gonna happen.
probably not, but
I think that's a far fetched dream right there.
yeah,
But hey, maybe I'll become the next Pokerev.
yeah.
So my next question is from Daniel Chance. He asks, if a buyer, no public reputation, just any random buyer, finds you on social media and wants to buy one of your eBay listings for a reduced cost, how would you handle those types of sales directly from an eBay sale? Or I'm sorry, how would you handle those types of sales differently from an eBay sale? Payment methods you prefer, shipping choices, etc. And if the same buyer claims that the package either did not arrive or arrived differently than described, what do you do compared to when it happens on eBay? So for me, this does happen, I wouldn't say frequently, but maybe once a week or so. Someone will message me, or someone will be looking on my eBay store and message me on Instagram asking to purchase whatever card through directly through PayPal versus eBay to save some money. And I always, unless it's like my bulk type 99-cent listings, unless it's one of those, I'll usually allow the sale to go through PayPal. If it is one of those cheaper type listings, even if it's a bunch of them, I always just say purchase on eBay because it just makes my inventory control so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is something a little bit more expensive and they wanna save some money, I'll definitely allow payment through PayPal goods and services. Basically, I knock 10% off the eBay buy it now price because I'm not going to be charged an eBay fee. So I'll pass those savings on to them and they'll just pay PayPal goods and services. I'll ship like I would with eBay, first class mail, priority mail with tracking. If it's 750 or above, I do signature confirmation. And then very rarely do I do insurance actually. But yeah, I'll package and mail it the same way I do with eBay. And I've actually never had to deal with a dispute outside of eBay, surprisingly. Maybe because I just don't do many sales outside of eBay, but I would imagine if you work through PayPal goods and services, it's about the same as it would be through eBay. So I'd imagine it wouldn't be too much of an issue. And then the only other thing I wanted to add with that question was if so, I always recommend people pay PayPal goods and services, but if the buyer does want to pay friends and family, especially on something higher end, um, I I basically like with I know you've mentioned this before, but like with international sales, if the buyer wants to declare the item lower, or if they don't want to have to pay for a higher shipping service, whatever, and they want to pay friends and family, basically all the responsibility goes on to them. Where once I ship the item, confirm that I've shipped it, send them the tracking, all the responsibility is now on them.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'd make that clear beforehand, but that's really about it. It's very similar selling through eBay or selling through PayPal goods and services or whatever other method.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you with all of that. One thing, historically, I've knocked off the 10% too. And if it's something that I've had on eBay a while and the market price has kind of come down, I mean, I've come down more than 10% as well, but
Oh yeah.
occasionally it'll be something that I just list, and 99% of my listings that I list, I sell them, I put them the cheapest on eBay.
Hmm.
So lately, like if it's something that I really just listed, hey, can I save 10-15% off? Lately, I'm like, I'll knock 5% off because the buyer, from my perspective, it's more work. Like if somebody just buys something on eBay, I'm already shipping 30 or 40 things a week through
Hmm.
eBay. So it's no extra work. You mentioned inventory management. If somebody finds something on eBay and it's already the lowest price on eBay and they want to save the full 10%, it's like, hey, do more work so that I can have all the savings.
That is
And
true.
I feel like I'm just in a ranty mood tonight. um, so lately I've been like, hey, 10% will be saved. So you save 5%, I save 5%. And a lot of times like it works out well and people are happy. And
Mhm.
sometimes people act like, oh, you're being greedy. And it's like, what are you talking about? You're trying to take all the savings for yourself and have me work more. So
That
definitely,
is true because it does take a bit more effort to do the sale through PayPal than it does through eBay.
yeah. But yeah, everything else you said, 100%.
Hmm.
I'm about the same thing too, like weekly. I actually just sold today through Instagram. Somebody bought one of those Reds Pikachus, and I told him I have like 12 of them if he wants more. But uh, and if people, I'm like a softie lately with the whole YouTube thing. If people mention like, "Hey, I love your podcast," and boom, there's another 10% off, 5% off. So just hot tip for anyone watching at this point: just mention the YouTube, and I'll cave a little bit.
He'll just mail you stuff for free.
Yeah,
Oh man. Um, yeah, I think we pretty much answered that question. Just yeah,
yeah.
I think I pretty much answered that one.
So the next one, Kai Oak Bacon. I paraphrased again. They asked a question about the value of CGC cards versus PSA cards, and they asked, are high end cards more immune to like price differentials? So
Hmm.
from what I've seen, pretty much across the board, CGC undersells PSA to some extent.
Mhm.
On a lot of the modern stuff, PSA 9 versus CGC 9, it's not a huge deal. Like it's fairly similar, but still a slight percentage less.
Yeah.
Where you really see the difference is though cards that are hitting CGC 9.5s that would have been PSA 10s, you're getting a lot less money.
Hmm.
Some amount of your 9.5s though might have been PSA 9s. My own perspective on that is I think most CGC 9.5s are PSA 10s. They are hard to get. Um, as far as high end, I mean, if you go to the ultra high end, somebody graded our Illustrator with CGC, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And I know that there are at least a couple full art Pikachu trophies in them. I know
Mhm.
that John, Pokemon Radar, just picked up a 1-to-4 set that are going to CGC. I think that cards that there are less than 50 of, I think you're at such a high tier that it really isn't going to make a huge difference. That's my own thought. And part of the consideration is like John grading those 1 through 4 full art Pikachu trophies. He's spending $500 roughly, 125 a card to walk those through CGC. If he graded those 4 cards with PSA,
Oh,
you're
he
spending
fortune.
five, six, maybe more thousand.
Yeah. Yep.
So I maybe you'll get that premium. Again, it depends where the grades land. If you get straight CGC 9s versus PSA 9s, I know that I'd personally buy them at the same price. Uh, when you're talking at cards in the 5 figures and the grading fees are only some small percentage of that, like it's not as big of a deal. That's where I'm at with PSA versus CGC pricing.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. I think it's just a matter of CGC being so new. They've only been. I think we're just past a year that they've started grading Pokemon cards, so they're still really new to the trading card grading scene, if you will. Where PSA does have that 20+ year established reputation. They might even be close to 30 because they started in the mid '90s, didn't they?
Yep.
So yeah, but they've been around for so long. They have that established reputation. So I think it's just going to be a matter of time for CGC to kind of build up a following and build up a reputation. Um, I do think I don't know. I do think PSA will always be like number one within Pokemon. CGC will eventually be number two, taking over Beckett's spot, in my opinion, anyway. But I don't think, I don't think, I don't think CGC prices will ever like completely match with PSA prices. I do think you're always going to see that slight discrepancy, and the biggest reason I think that is because of the consistency, meaning like people collecting PSA 9, PSA 10 sets versus 8.5s,
Mhm.
9.5s with the subgrades. So I think that's a big part of the reason as well. But I do think we are going to see that gap beginning to close as CGC starts grading more cards and as they further build their reputation.
Mhm.
So my next question is from Swami, and he did. I don't know if this was a question he was asking, but I figured we could talk about it because there was a lot that happened in between our last podcast and this one. He asked though, it'll be interesting to hear your thoughts on the PSA update and CGC selling its majority share. And he asked that question. It was like the day after we uploaded the podcast, which would have been almost 2 weeks ago now. But even since his comment there, there's been so many updates with PSA and CGC.
Mhm.
So I figured we could spend a bit of time talking about this. Um, Obviously, you were spot on with your PSA reopening guess there with the new $200 price point and only that one tier opening up. Uh,
Mhm.
which honestly I wasn't surprised by that. I don't think you were either at all.
I guess that I wasn't too surprised.
No. But then I guess the next news after that was CGC sold a majority share to Blackstone or something, some company I'd never even heard of, which
Mhm.
that I didn't really care too much about that. Um I didn't think that was too newsworthy, I guess. I don't know if you had any input on that one.
Not really. I just think big money's moving into these. I think the more interesting side of it, we talked about this a little bit before we started recording, but
Yeah, I do want to mention those.
the company
I
that
want
bought
to get into that one.
PSA buying Golden Auctions, um, that's an interesting thing when you've got an overlap in the ownership of the people who grade the cards and the people who advertise and sell the cards have like a direct interest in. Obviously PSA has an interest in their cards going up over time, but it's a little bit more indirect. Now it's just the ownership has a very direct uh a very direct thing, and then buying Wada too, and the whole. Yeah, there's I kind of, as you were introducing this question or this comment, I was kind of scrambling to try to remember everything, but PSA's parent company, Collectors Universe, or whoever owns them now, buying Wada.
I was going to ask you too. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Oh,
is Collectors Universe still linked with PSA, or is Collectors Universe PCGS and the coin grading aspect now?
I Collectors Universe, like CLCT, was what the umbrella company was like trading under on the market. So that name might be gone now. I'm not even entirely sure.
Yeah, I
But
was confused by that part.
under that, it was PCGS, PSA, a couple other ones, and then CGC has uh, CSG, NGC, CGC.
Mhm.
But yeah, so they're doing their own video game grading. WADA's bought by PSA. I've not yet owned a graded video game, but I have been looking at them.
Hmm.
It's hard not to when a Super Mario 64 sells for $1.5 million.
That was absurd.
And you've got VGA with a completely different scale from
Hmm.
WATA, and you've got the market that doesn't fully understand that a WATA 98 is not the same as a VGA 9.8.
Yeah.
But like the auction prices realized, they kind of think they are. There's so much going on. Whether or not WATA will end up getting a pop report, whether or not CGC, I mean, they're great. Their trading cards have yet to get a pop report,
Which
but
I don't understand why.
I
I
don't
don't
know
understand
why.
why they don't initiate, or they don't like build in a pop report right from the get go.
In a way, I kind of like it, just from the perspective that it removes a lot of the garbage. Ooh, pop one, super low pop.
True. Yeah.
Like, yes, everything is pop one at some point. It's like the company just started. Congrats, I think some of that stuff, again, going back to the whole cert number, I think the pop is over worried about on a lot of things, especially for a brand new company that just hasn't graded them yet.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I
there's a
hadn't thought
lot
about that.
there.
That's actually a good point. That might be why they're holding back on kind of releasing a pop report. I think that could be a part of the reason why.
Yeah, get a couple of years of cards in there and get it kind of filled out to some extent.
Yeah.
Because I'm just not sure how useful it is to know, oh, there's pop one of this card that they made 1 million of, that once people realize it's pop one, oh, I'll send 50 of them, and so will 100 other people, and then a year from now they'll be pop 1,000.
Exactly.
Silly stuff.
Uh, but yeah, I thought the most exciting news out of all those was PSA buying Golden's, or Collectors Universe buying Golden auction house. I thought that was big news. And then the other one I thought was really cool was CGC starting to grade video games.
Yeah.
Thought that was huge for CGC, and just kind of further emphasizes how they're looking to expand and how they are expanding, and kind of further getting their name out there. I still think CGC is going to be absolutely massive in the long term. Like I said earlier, it's just going to take time to kind of establish their reputation and further get their name out there.
Wasn't it Golden Auctions too that just, yeah, I just Googled it. Golden Auctions is coming out with a vault service like
Oh, really?
PWCC. So just picture this.
Mhm.
And we joked about this. I joked about this beforehand. They're gonna buy like Wizards of the Coast or Pokemon, or they're gonna start printing the cards. So you're gonna buy the cards from them, send them straight to PSA, and then you'll forward them to your Golden Vault, and then you'll auction it there. It's when they own the company that grades it and the vault that stores it and the auction house that sells it. There's a lot of conflicting interests there. There's a lot of value that they're getting, knowing what's like when the same company knows how many are in the backlog, how many are in the pop, how many are up for the next golden block.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like insider info that can be used there, and
Oh
how
yeah.
much of it will be. And there's shady things that could go on, obviously.
Oh yeah. I think it's a smart move on their part, though. Definitely, definitely, definitely some advantages there. I didn't know about the whole golden auction vault service. I wonder if they'll eventually make it so you can send your cards off to be graded and then send them directly to the vault. I have a feeling that that could be something that we'll hear about in the future.
I don't know if it's actually happening, but I've heard people talk about like putting their vault address on file with PSA, like the PWCC vault. I think some people have shipped some orders
Oh,
like
I didn't know you could do that either. Okay.
I think people have done that with they
Okay.
have free promotions through the end of August still. Uh,
Sponsored
yeah,
by PWCC.
yeah, it's pretty wild though. I've won a couple cards recently on Golden. So the last one I won, they sent me an email saying, "Hey, save the sales tax," which I don't pay anyways with the resellers thing. But they said, "Save the sales tax, save the shipping, send it to our vault." So
Nice. Okay.
yeah, they've gotten into that game too. So
I think it's smart of them to do, considering how popular the PWCC vault is.
yeah,
But I think that was it for. Oh, and then the final update for PSA, Joe Orlando retired as CEO of PSA, and
that's right.
Nat Turner took the helm, I guess. Which I'm not surprised on that. When I first heard about him taking over, him buying PSA, I kind of figured that he would become CEO. And then I read that the management wasn't going to change, so I honestly wasn't surprised that he did finally take over there, and I'm kind of
Mhm.
excited to see what'll happen there because from the interviews that I've listened to with Nat Turner, he seems to be really good, and he seems to be working towards improving PSA, and they're working through their backlog and I guess frankly doing a lot more than Joe Orlando was doing. So I'm
That's
excited
gonna
to see what'll happen.
that's gonna get us our new cases, new labels, inner sleeves sooner probably.
That's true. That's true.
Sell everything now. Sell your 2 certs, they all suck. Sell your 4 certs, they don't have the sleeves.
Oh man. Gonna have to restart my whole collection here.
Yeah.
Start from zero.
Oh man.
No, before uh completely off topic, but I feel bad for like the people who collected packs, like graded booster packs with the old style cases and then the new style cases now. That's the worst right there.
I graded a bunch in the past to flip because there was a market for it and there was money to be made, but the cases were awful and I might have a harsh opinion on that, but like you were collecting clearly damaged packs. So like they got what was coming to them to some extent. That's all I can really say. I do know that if I was personally crazy enough to assemble tens of thousands of dollars of packs in those old cases, I would be on the phone with PSA and I would say I want the new cases. And
Hmm.
every pack that doesn't meet, every pack that's creased or torn from being folded, I want the financial guarantee payout. I would be adamant about it. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I don't
oh
I
yeah.
don't want to touch one thing that's been happening lately because I have a few of the new style packs on eBay right now. People have been seeing the completed listings at PWCC, and the day after they send me an offer. Oh, hey, will you match last sold? And
But
I just say
old
like,
style case.
I say, no, I'm not gonna sell my PSA 10 pack for a damaged pack price. I'm like, I don't care that it's PSA 10. I don't care that it's PSA 9. It's folded and damaged.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I, I'm not gonna match it. Like, I don't think that there's honestly. I've actually picked up a couple packs that have gone to auction in the new style cases, and they've kind of gone like damaged pack prices. Like they've not really earned much of a premium. But I think that that's something to look out for.
Hmm.
I think that there will be a disconnect, and unlike the 2 cert 4 cert thing, this is 100% deserved.
Oh,
Like
absolutely, absolutely.
objectively, like say that the 2 certs, say that they were folding the top quarter inch of the card over to put it in the case. Okay, yes, those cards are damaged. Those cards are worse condition. Like they are literally taking packs and they were folding the foil over. Pat Flynn, Deep Pocket Monster, he opened up a base set 2 pack it was a PSA 10, and he took it out of the case, he unfolded it, and there were 2 ugly crease lines on it.
I didn't see that video. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Just visibly like unappealing to me. Like I don't know what PSA is going to do if and when they get a flood of people looking for recases and then finding that the cards aren't or the packs aren't 10s. I think they'll just call them 10s and they'll be damaged 10s.
I don't know. That's a tough one right there.
I don't know how you could look at what the pops are for packs, and probably the bulk of them are going to be the old style because the new style are pretty new.
Yeah.
There's probably millions of dollars of financial guarantee claims out there in old style cases.
I can believe it. Yeah.
It's
I'd imagine every single one of them is going to have that similar crease along the top and bottom that you were saying that Pat Flynn's pack had.
It's crazy that they ever did it. I mean, the only thing that they could like get around it is they can just claim that, yep, this is still a 10. And they can just say like, hey, when we grade Pokemon packs, we're grading the middle art area. We're not grading the flaps. Like
That's true.
And then you'll have to really be buying the pack, not the cert.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to look visually for those lines, like to see whether it's a recased old style or whether it's a truly undamaged gem pack. If you care about that. I mean, some people might only care about the art being nice. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I still have no idea how they even grade packs. So maybe they are just looking at the art and not the top and bottom flaps.
I have 10s that have the little holes on the side, the air holes or whatever. I have 10s that they've got like the impression, you know how the packs are stacked and there's the seam. A lot of times that'll leave an indent in the next pack's art.
Yeah.
And I've got ones like that are 10s. So I don't know what they're basing the grade on at all.
I have no idea. And I want to say you did a video where you had a pack, one of your first edition base packs, where like there was like a little slit in the top the crimp there.
Yep.
I think that one's still got a 10 too.
Yep. I don't know what they're grading. I buy 9s generally because I don't believe in 10s, even for cards. I mean, I know that there's a difference. There's some amount of difference there, generally speaking, but it's so minute and there's so much more overlap between 9s and 10s than most people believe, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that one. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything that happened in 2 weeks there between PSA and CGC.
Yeah, and there was a lot.
There was a lot that happened between our last podcast and this one.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks. It's been a long 2.5 weeks. My last question. Daniel Chance likes to double dip. He gets in on both of our channels, which is good though. I mean, it helps us both out with the algorithm.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He had a question. Again, I paraphrased heavily on all my questions tonight. Neither of us are tax advisors, but he kind of had a question on how taxes work. Scott Pratt, SM Pratt, he recently consigned that #1 Pikachu trophy that went for $128,000. I won't get into. I mean, I don't know exactly what he charges as a consignment fee or what the seller paid exactly, but let's take a round number theoretically. Say it sold for $100,000 instead, because it's an easier number. Say the consignment fee was $10,000, 10%. As the consigner, Scott or whoever the consigner is, they're not buying the item. They don't own the item. They're essentially getting paid $10,000, 10% for their services, and that would be their gross proceeds from the consignment. They'd have some amount of fees in that, right? They'd have payment processing fee. If they take it through PayPal or through eBay, they'd have final value fees with eBay. So the consignor wouldn't owe money on the entire amount. They would pay the proceeds less the fee to the consignee, and they would pay on their net. So what their proceeds were for the consignment fee minus their fees of selling it. I mean, they might, after eBay fees and shipping, insurance, whatever else, advertising, if there's any of that, eBay fees cap. So they might pay $1,000 for all that. They might net $9,000, and that would be their taxable gains on that.
Mhm.
The consigner, say it was a card they had zero cost basis in, they would owe money on $90,000 if it was zero cost basis. But if it's an item that they paid 80 grand for, their gross profit would be 10 grand if they had any other fees shipping it out to the consigner. So basically, at the end of the day, you don't pay taxes on gross numbers. You pay it on net. You pay it on like what you're actually taking home after any fees, after your cost basis.
Mhm.
There's further complicating factors, long-term, short-term. If it's long-term, I think it's 28%. If it's short-term, it goes to your marginal tax rate. There's a lot of different considerations. Basically, consult with your CPA, consult with your tax professionals on exactly what you need to do, especially if you're selling really big ticket stuff. But just kind of a little overview of how taxes work a little bit.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest takeaway from that is I think we've mentioned this before, but you're not, so like when you receive a 1099 from eBay, they're gonna list how much you actually sold on eBay every month, and then a grand total at the end of the year. You're not paying taxes on that number. You're only paying taxes on what you profited from that number. So they're not taking into consideration how much your inventory cost. They're not even taking into consideration how much they charged you to sell those items. So that's they're not taking into account that 10% fee, final value fee, or the managed payment fee. So all that's deductible, and you're only paying taxes on the actual profit that you had from those sales.
They actually they don't account for refunds. So they literally take like all your gross receipts for the whole year. You need to take out anything you refunded, all your fees, all your shipping, all your office supplies, and then also the cost of the items. eBay has no idea what you paid for any of the items. So all that stuff you need to track separately and account for that. So at the end of the day, yeah, you're paying on your net proceeds, not your gross proceeds.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
And then there's cash versus accrual basis. There's a lot of complicated things with taxes, and consult with a professional.
Oh yeah. 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 Even like I would avoid TurboTax for the first couple years at least, because there's a lot that a tax professional can tell you that you wouldn't have any idea of if you tried to file through TurboTax or something like that. I know I made that mistake the first year that I filed taxes. I didn't know about that you were only paying on your profit, so I got my first 1099 and I paid way more than I needed to. And then I also filed through TurboTax, and there were a lot of things that I learned when I started filing with a CPA, that I didn't know that first year when I just used TurboTax, like any type of like bills for Wi-Fi and phone service. Those are all tax deductible. I didn't know about that, and my tax guy told me about all that stuff. So it definitely saves money going to someone, paying a couple $100 to have them do your taxes versus trying to save a couple $100 by doing them yourself. You're gonna pay more in the long run doing that than you would actually going to see someone. Plus, it's
Mm-hmm.
a lot less painful doing that.
Yeah.
Just hand all that stuff off to someone else. um, was that it for his? I think I had one more. Yeah, I have one more question.
Yep.
Matthew B asks, What are your thoughts on WhatNot and other alternatives to eBay? I saw Nick doing some selling on WhatNot and wanted to get both of your thoughts. So I
I think
saved
I
this
think
question.
this was just a plant by Nick to pump up his own whatnot stream.
Yes, exactly. No, I purposely saved this one for last because figured I'd at least have a lot to talk about with this one.
Yeah.
But so I did start selling on Whatnot. If you guys want to give me a follow, give old school Pokemon a follow on Whatnot. But I did my so I think we were just talking about how I was going to be doing my first live stream during the last podcast.
Yep.
Um, so I ended up doing two before I went on vacation, and I was absolutely blown away with how good both those live streams went. At some point, I'd like to do a video comparing kind of pricing on Whatnot versus eBay. That'll be somewhere down the line. I've got a lot of videos I want to catch up on, but I had an absolute blast with my live streams. They went a lot longer than I thought they would. I was going into both of them thinking I'd be on for 2 3 hours. I think I did 5 and 6 hours for both of those streams. So they went a lot longer than I thought they would. I had a lot more interest in people watching them than I thought I would, being that I was a new account. And overall, it was an absolute blast for me being able to kind of talk in real time with the chat versus just doing everything through email and eBay messages and all that. So for me, it was a lot of fun. But in terms of like the actual sales through Whatnot, it was a little bit interesting where some of the cards I sold went for way above what I'd ever expect to get for them on eBay. The biggest example that I remember is I sold a Kanto gym badge, like the gym trainer set, the promo set that was released in 2016. It's got 8 cards in it, and I sold a set of those on Whatnot for like $220, where I have that same set listed on eBay for $99.99, so $100, and I've been accepting best offers of $75. So for the person who paid 220, I'm sorry, I kind of feel bad, but
I remember you sold a Charizard V, the Champions Path Elite Trainer Box promo.
yep,
I think someone paid like $69 for that.
yep, that was another one.
A CGC 9.
That was another good sale right there.
I popped into, I think both streams I was in for a short bit. I actually bought the Armored Mewtwo from the last one, but Nick puts
Yep.
on a good show. Definitely go give him a follow.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, some of the stuff went for really high. There were other cards that went for really low. There were a few really good deals on there. You got a pretty good deal on your Armored Mewtwo there.
Yep.
But overall, I think it's if you like combine everything together, those really good sales and those really bad sales, I think you're getting similar to what you could get on eBay. The biggest advantage of it for me, at least, was to sell all of that stuff in one night. I'd never have that many sales in one night on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
Where doing this live stream, I was able to have all those sales in one night, which is awesome. But I do still have a lot to learn. I gotta fine tune my shipping process. Like the back end of Whatnot it's pretty easy to get familiar with, but it does take some like trial and error to kind of like categorize what you're going to call each listing, and then how you're going to package all those listings together. But it's a learning process. But I'm having an absolute blast doing it, and I'll definitely continue doing that going forward.
Mm-hmm.
But there's my spiel on Whatnot. Are you ever going to give Whatnot a try?
We talked about it a little before. I just think you kind of need to do it at night when there's going to be people on. Nick pulled good numbers. I mean, you were in like the 40s and 50s, right? Viewers.
It was absolutely shocking to me. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. You're not going to get that at 10 a.m., especially on East Coast, 10 a.m. on a Monday.
No.
So nights would be tough for me to do it at like the peak times. I don't really see myself ever doing it, but if you had asked me 6 months ago if I was going to do a YouTube, I probably would have said I don't see myself doing it. So you never know.
And who was the one who got you started with YouTube?
Yeah. So Nick's gonna talk me into WhatNot next. I think it's a great idea though. I think it's really fun. I've been in a few different streams. I've been in box breaks. The box breaks especially. I don't know who else caught, but I remember seeing a few people on Instagram blowing up. Super Duper Danny cracked that Neo Revelation
New
no
Discovery.
Neo Discovery box. 36 out of 36 hollows. I mean, that was
unbelievable.
historic, unprecedented. That was great advertising for them. But in that box, every pack was a hollow, so it was just nuts. In other boxes, though, a really cool dynamic with box breaks, and I don't know if you ever plan to do box breaks, but like if it starts out slow with a lot of non-hollow packs, then it becomes like you get better than the 1 out of 3 odds to get a hollow, right? So say you go 10 non-hollow packs. I remember Radar did one stream that like Gem Mint Pokemon and I were in buying packs, and he went dry to start. So I ended up picking in one stream. I think I went 3 for 3 with hollows, which was just crazy.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Really, really cool idea. For me, from a buyer perspective, I'd be more likely to get in on box breaks, less likely to get in on like raw graded cards. But if you've got time and you just want like a unique experience, I think it's really cool. And there's a lot of good stuff on there. And like Nick said, there's some deals and some. Make sure you're price shopping a little bit. Have eBay on the side where you can make sure that you're not paying double for something. But yeah, it's definitely a cool platform though.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I'll be I'm hoping to get into like a weekly or bi-weekly schedule, either Saturday or Sunday night. Do a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that goes though. But do you have any other alternatives? I know you're killing it on one alternative to eBay.
Troll and Toad Evo. I feel like their main spokesperson, even though I have no reach, and but that's my favorite place still right now. I don't do as much on there as I do like on my eBay, but it is so low effort, low time commitment. It's really nice, and I'm selling a completely different type of product. So my eBay is almost solely graded cards. Any modern sealed product or vintage and modern single cards I'm doing through Troll and Toad, and it's going really well. I mentioned to Nick a bit too before we started recording. I've got my eye. TCG Player has a similar service, TCG Player Direct, it's called. It doesn't work exactly the same way as Evo. I still need to do some research on it, but I've noticed some of my inventory, it sells for a fair bit lower on Troll and Toad than it does on TCG Player. So maybe I'll end up doing a little bit of optimization, have an account with each, try to work the two for optimal returns. We'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, I think it would, in theory, it would be nice to like completely optimize everything where you're selling every card on the best platform, but in actuality, that gets to be so tedious.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I've always liked sticking with eBay, and then I do a bit on Troll and Toad. Not nearly what you do, but you quickly surpassed me there.
I had 6 years of backlog, so I just had monster boxes piling up over the years of all the cards I didn't have time to get to. So I just send them all the Troll and Toad for raw fulfillment, and it's just killing it. Yeah.
No, that's awesome there. But yeah, I like having one platform where it's me selling, which is eBay, and then another platform where I'm just sending stuff off, which is the Evo Troll and Toad Evo. I think that's like a good combination right there because I'm selling stuff that I want to sell myself on eBay, and then anything else that I don't want to have to deal with is going to Troll and Toad, and they're doing it, and I'm just collecting the money from them. So I think that's kind of the best of both worlds. Is kind of have a combination of both. It opens up a whole lot more opportunities too. Because
Hmm.
if you see, if you like, I know in the past there's been collection like a couple going back a year and a half, 2 years ago. There have been a couple collections that had a lot of like Diamond and Pearl era, um, Black and White era, like reverse holo cards, and I never used to deal with any of those cards on eBay. But when I started selling on Troll and Toad, I was able to send all those cards off to Troll and Toad for them to deal with. So, kind of opens up a few more opportunities for you, where you have different avenues to sell different stuff.
Hmm. I do well with those too. Like there's so many platinum, diamond and pearl, heart gold, soul silver era reverse hollows that I'm the only one listed. So I just list them at like $5 to $10. Some of these cards you can buy them on eBay for 2 or 3. I'm
Mhm.
getting a premium over at Troll and Toad. Uh, they don't sell super fast, but I've got nothing into most of them, and they're just sitting there. Whenever someone buys it, Troll and Toad does all the work.
Yep.
Really, really nice.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you can go on vacation, and you have to put your eBay into sleep mode, right? You have to put that in vacation mode so that you don't
Hmm.
have unhappy buyers. But Troll and Toad they never rest. They're always going for you. So that's nice too.
That is true. One thing I learned about eBay with the whole vacation mode, since I put my eBay store on vacation mode when I was away on vacation, but it's a good thing I did quit my full time job because you can no longer put your eBay store in vacation mode indefinitely. Which that's what I used to do. I used to put my eBay store in vacation mode and just not set a return date.
Oh, really?
They changed it so you can only be on vacation for 30 days. So it's
I
I
didn't know
I,
that.
I basically had to go full time with Pokemon. I had no other option.
Yeah, that's good. Good timing.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting change that I thought of. But yeah, that was about it. Um, what else did you want to talk about tonight here?
There was one note that I've seen no one talk about it really, and I think it's kind of big news to me at least. CGC, I don't know the exact numbers, but their stated turnaround times decreased.
Yep.
So what that means to me is, and I hope it's real, I don't know that it's real, but either their intake with the most recent price increase, either their intake went down and became lower than their daily throughput, or maybe their daily intake flatlined and they've expanded their capacity to where their throughput now exceeds their daily intake. So one of those two things happened, or maybe a combination of both. But seemingly, CGC is actually chipping away at the backlog.
Hmm.
And they've done that without completely, I mean, PSA never completely shut down, but they didn't have to get as drastic as PSA did,
Yep.
going to $300 per card minimum. What is CGC for the cheapest now? Is it 20 plus subs?
No, I think it's 15 plus subs.
Or is it 15?
So
But then subs are like $7 or $9 or
yeah,
something.
I think
Yeah.
I think subs are 7, but then you still get a disc. You still get they still do the 15 or 20% discount if you have a membership.
Yeah. But to me, I mean, I think that's a good sign. I think it's a good sign that demand is going down enough. I think PSA is still a long ways away. I think their backlog is a much much larger situation than CGC ever got into, though CGC is probably rated about a year right now.
Yeah.
Another thing I had is my guess was spot on with Express opening at 200.
Oh,
I
I was
think
right
it
about that.
I think it would be a fun exercise though to take our way too early guesses. When do you think economy? I think economy is the next tier cheaper.
Or is it
When
Express?
Express is what just reopened at 200 a card.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right, because the Super Express is 300. Okay, yeah, yep.
So as of right now, I believe economy is stated to be, is it stated to be 75?
I believe so.
Um, so when do you think that will reopen and what will the price be? Like, let's put our way too early guesses out there and see. So right now it's stated at 100 a card. So
Okay.
early this year it would have been 50 a card. Then they doubled it for March and it's been closed since March 31st, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Do you have the complete through date for economy listed there?
It is entirely complete, I believe.
Okay, okay.
I believe. I'm pretty sure that that's one that they completely made it through.
That would make sense.
Uh, oh no, never mind. Economy. Oh, I've got a screenshot on a blog post, so it's not a live document.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay, so yeah, economy is 100% complete.
Okay. So I'm going to say right now it's Express at 200.
Oh, it's actually regular is the next service that they're calling 100 a card, and then economy is 50 a card.
Okay, so we'll go with regular because that's
So
gonna be the next one to open.
yeah, regular's complete through date is 98% of March is complete, and it closed on March 31st. So they're almost fully caught up. They're
Basically.
almost full. Yep.
So I'm gonna say they're gonna give it July, August, September, October. I'm gonna say they reopen it. I'm gonna say early November they reopen it, and it's going to be what? It's $100 a card right now.
Yep.
I'm going to say they reopen it at 125 a card
Ooh,
in early November.
you almost hit dead on with what I was gonna guess.
It's a good thing I went first.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna be swayed by yours at all, but it's really, really close. I was gonna say 120,
Okay.
and I was gonna say like year end, so like December, sometime December, maybe very late December. Christmas special.
Christmas.
120 regular. That's my guess.
Okay. Okay. It'll be interesting to see who's right this time.
I could see them going earlier, but I think it's a fine line. It all depends on how they want to balance. We know that like bulk is so horrendously behind.
Hmm.
And if they're fine with bulk staying like 1 to 2 year backlog,
Which I don't think they are.
I don't think they are either. So I'm optimistic. Like they should wait. Honestly, they should wait longer than December. But I know that there's a lot of people that are going to kind of be antsy. And I think it would just be like good year end news.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I don't think opening. I don't think they have to be concerned too much about opening something that's more than $100 to submit. I think once they get below that $100 mark, that's when the floodgates are going to open.
100 is a huge like mental because
Yeah.
if the retail if the advertised rate is 100, dealers and a lot of the big guys are paying a fair bit less than 100.
Hmm.
And that like the reason I say 120 and I assume the reason you say 125 is because that probably pegs like the dealer rate near 100,
Hmm.
which is like just a big psychological level. I think if you tease 100 too much, if you go under that, you're just gonna get swamped again.
Oh yeah,
And not like in perpetuity, but you've got right now 4 months of people just filling monster boxes, being ready.
oh yeah, yep.
You've got the 25th anniversary Pokemon, right? Like $100 a card. There are going to be a lot of people sending out those gold star things. Those at 200 a card, you can't really do it. I mean, you can. It's a lot riskier,
If you're
but
one of the first ones, you can. But
yeah, but
it's really all about timing with that. Once those first few enter the pop report, then prices really go down.
yeah, yeah. So it's interesting how close we both are with our guesses.
That is interesting. That is interesting for sure.
It'll be nice to revisit that in like podcast episode 20 or whatever we're at that point.
Yeah, we'll finally be in double digits at that point.
Yeah.
We might have I forget how long the collectible conversations with John and Squeaks went, but I think we might be past them at that point.
Yeah.
I think they did 16 or 17 episodes.
Oh, really? I didn't realize they did that many. I definitely watched them all though. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So we definitely we gotta at least do one more than they did.
Oh, I'm in this for the long haul. I hope we get to like 50,
Triple
50th anniversary.
yeah, there. I hope I'm 20. Oh yeah. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I was gonna say something stupid. I was gonna say I hope we're still alive for the 50th, but we better still be alive.
Yeah.
Oh man. So one other thing I thought that you added to the notes that I thought was cool was or actually no, we should talk about what we've been buying and selling. I do want to. I know you've been buying some nice stuff. I don't know if you want to. I know you did a video on one of them.
Yeah, I bought anybody who's watched my latest two videos, which they were a bit more successful than I expected. It seemed like a lot of people were interested in it, but I bought a complete PSA graded base set first edition. I mentioned it in one of the videos, but I may as well reiterate it now. Auctioning a 102 card set that's mixed grade is not a great idea, in my opinion. You limit your buyer pool substantially. I bought it for $24,400. I believe the collection, I don't believe the collection is worth per recent solds over 40.
Nice.
So the problem is there's PSA 10s, 9s, 8s, 7s.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't want, like, a large portion of the collector base doesn't sell anything. So 80% of your buyer pool might just be gone because they don't want to buy it because they don't want to sell any singular item and they just don't want every card there.
Yep.
And what percent of your buyer pool has 25 grand to spend in one transaction? And anyways, I bought this big lot and I'm just going to do a straight flip. I'm doing like a little YouTube mini series on it. Completely transparent, 100% in the open. Whenever I'm done selling the last card, I will update the spreadsheet with every sale price and just completely go through it. I think it's pretty interesting content, just behind how I came up with my bid and what I expect to make and what that works out to hourly. A little bit of a wrinkle came in that my PSA 8 base set first edition Charizard has a line through it, which, looking more research and talking to other people, it might stay with an 8 if I try to go through the financial guarantee.
I saw your Instagram post with that card, and there were a few comments that said people have tried to resubmit it and it came back an 8, which to me that does not make any sense whatsoever.
It's an
Even
ugly
with
8.
the pictures that you sent me, that does not look like an 8 with that dent going across it.
You know what, too?
Usually it looks worse in person.
It's a 4 cert. So wherever our 4-cert buyers are, this is the strongest 8 I've ever seen. It has the 4 at the start of its cert number. So I will sell it to you at only like a 5% premium above recent solds.
What a guy. What a
Yeah.
guy.
Don't look at the card, buy the label. It's the 4X cert. Um, but other than that, big buy. I bought a complete Hidden Fates set, master set at auction recently. I think it's just a historic set. I think even though it was printed like crazy, it was just kind of an unprecedented, the whole shiny vault. Amazing set. You've got Charizard, you've got some big evolutions, you've got a lot going on there. I love the set. I picked it up for a steal, I think, at auction. I just think big sets like that are just, it takes less time, but I think you get paid well for your time if you part them out yourselves.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no.
I'm actually bad sometimes too. Like I throw bids out. Some night I'll just sit down and I'll just bid like on 50 different items, like low bids, thinking I'm gonna win nothing. And a lot of times I win nothing. I got an unpaid item warning for something I bought. I didn't even realize I won it. And it's like, pay for your item now or get an unpaid item strike. I bought like 10 or 12. They didn't say if they were light. I bid as if they were light, and I bid half of what they were worth to me. But I got a pretty good price on jungle and fossil packs that I'm kind of hopeful that maybe I got a couple heavies in them.
That'd be nice.
It was just a random loose assortment of packs. I ended up winning that. I think I paid $200 a pack maybe.
Nice.
And I've been selling some. I've been selling some through my eBay and Troll and Toad for closer to 350, 400, I want to say. So that'll be
That's a
a
good.
good buy, especially if I get some heavies.
Yeah. I gotta get back to I used to constantly search eBay, and I haven't done that in the longest time. I gotta get back to looking on eBay and looking at auctions and all that. I
I
spend, I
love
spend a lot more time on Facebook nowadays.
I love buying eBay auctions. I hadn't done it for years and I'm just getting back into it and I love it.
Oh yeah, no, there's some good deals out there, especially like if you look at like Monday morning,
Mm-hmm.
if you stay up really late Sunday night, kind of that time frame when there's really nobody on eBay. There's some really cheap eBay auctions that end around then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to pick up a few good ones, using that type of logic. But yeah, I couldn't tell you the last thing that I bought on eBay. So aside from like packaging materials or something like that, the last like Pokemon card related thing that I bought on eBay, it's been a long time. Or
One thing
actually, I bought
sorry,
a No Damage Ninetales a couple months ago. That was on eBay.
one thing that always shocks me with your monthly update is like how few, like you buy some large collections, but you only have a handful of purchases each month.
Yeah, yep.
Like I think I bought 10 or 12 auctions this week. Um
Man.
and I've not like that's a lot compared to the last 2 or 3 years. But in my heyday, like when I was really big into the auction scene on eBay, which I intend to become later this year again,
Mhm.
uh, I'm gonna be buying 20 to 30 items a week probably. Some of them individual items, some of them large lots.
Yeah, yep.
Uh, Not that it's, I mean, you can do it in a spreadsheet. It's all easy to track in a spreadsheet. But yeah,
Yeah.
your updates is always just like 5 to 8 purchases, and that always just blows my mind.
Yeah, I used to do like buy a small lot here for a couple $100, buy another lot here for a couple $100. But I guess I've just been getting spoiled with like bigger collections.
Dropping like
Um,
8 grand, 10 grand. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So now I just kind of stopped looking at those, like those smaller lots don't excite me anymore. So I just kind of stopped looking for them. But yeah, it's been a while since I bought like a small couple hundred or $1,000 or $2,000 collection. Um, a lot of the more recent ones have been, or I guess within the past couple weeks I bought a 10. I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't think we talked about purchases, but it was maybe 3-ish weeks ago. I bought a $10,000 collection of first edition Team Rocket, Gym Series, and Neo Series hollows, which were a good portion of those were gradable. So those got added into my PSA grading pile. And then the rest of those, I've been selling some of those on my WhatNot streams. I was gonna do a video on that collection because it was a really cool collection to go through, but I just started selling the cards out of that collection before I can get a video. And if I did a video now, it'd be like, you paid 10,000 for this? You got hosed.
We should have heard about it in your June monthly breakdown, but we haven't seen that yet. Everyone go on Nick's page and just ask him where his monthly breakdown is for June, so he'll put that out. That's one of my favorite monthly series. Not too many people show the numbers, and
No, definitely not.
you inspired me to give that transparency on that lot that I bought to flip.
Oh man, so now I gotta do it.
Yeah, you gotta.
No, I do have those numbers ready. I got my spreadsheet all filled out. I did that right before vacation actually, and I was going to record the video and schedule it to upload while I was away, but I just got lazy and never did that. But I do want to do it because June it'll be June's video, and June ended Q2 of 2021. So I kind of want to talk about like my quarter numbers and to kind of give a better breakdown of how much I'm actually making every month. Because I know with the way I do it, going month by month, it varies so much. Like with May, it said I had like a $25,000 profit, which is completely unrealistic for me. But when you look at it by quarter by quarter, it evens out a lot more. It evens out a lot better.
And I don't think it's happened during your series yet, but I know for me, some months I buy like heavy. There are months that I lose money.
Yep.
I mean, I spend more than I bring in.
Yep.
But the things that I sold were sold at a significant profit. I just substantially increased my inventory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, over the quarter, over the year, things like that smooth out more, and you get the truer picture.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And then I actually recently bought a collection off of Z&G Emporium that he was consigning for someone. Had a lot of EX series cards. It was such a random collection. A lot of EX series, EX cards, WotC hollows, WotC rares, modern GXs, Vs, VMAXs. It was just a completely random assortment of cards, but it was actually a really nice collection. There's a lot of variety in that one, which is going to be awesome for WhatNot. I think those cards will do really good through there, and it'll give me stuff to sell for a while at least through there, which will be nice. And that's about it for purchasing. A few modern purchases too, but that's really the only two exciting ones that I had. But I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to talk about here this week.
I think that was everything. I think we've got quite the marathon session going here.
I think we did good this week. Probably an hour and a half, I'd imagine.
I think longer than that. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to the time.
I feel like we didn't get started till around 11, which is surprising considering we joined at like 9:30.
Yeah, we always do that.
But yeah, that's all I had for this week. I don't know if we should have a few few exciting episodes coming up. We'll try and get one out. We'll try and get back on schedule here. So we'll upload one either beginning of August, or it'll be the end of July, I guess. Or it'll be our next one. But we'll try and get back on our Thursday upload schedule. Since I ruined that schedule for us, we'll try and get back on it and do every other Thursday upload. Recording every other Wednesday. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed episode 9 of our podcast. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and we'll answer them in episode number 10, double digits.
Yeah. Usually at this point, I say the whole like subscribe thing, but I think I'm going to like phase that out because the people who get to this point
are definitely subscribed.
There are subscribers anyways. And I think they're the guys who, the guys and gals, the people who hit the thumbs up when they join and they're already subscribed. And so I'll save you all from that moving ahead. I gotta learn how to be a YouTuber and like have my little Charmander pop up a minute in and just overlay, tell you to press the button.
I did that, or I don't know if I put my logo in there. I don't think I did. I think I gotta change that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Charmander like smashing the like button.
Oh, see, I can't be that fancy. I'm just gonna have my little logo and subscribe.
I'm probably setting the bar too high, and I probably won't be able to figure that out. But I'm gonna get something someday.
one of these days.
Maybe for our 10th anniversary. Not our 10th episode, our 10th anniversary.
We got to go back and see when we started these.
I think
it's been
March.
Probably, was it back in March?
Well, it's episode 9, so it should be 18 weeks, right? 4.5 months.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I think it was early March.
Man, I didn't think it was that long. That's
yeah,
right there.
Time's flying by.
It is. Well,
yeah, we appreciate everyone who stuck it out this long, and we'll see you next week, right? Late next week.
Yeah. We'll get back on schedule. So you guys will have a it'll be this one, then a week later you'll have another one instead of waiting 2 weeks. So look forward to that. But it's always fun talking to you, and I will talk to you again next week.
Yeah, great chat as always. We will catch you all later.
Have a good one.